Hey there guys, and welcome back to another No Restrictions Best Team. So yeah, let's get this out of the way real quick. This is obviously not the best team for Black and White 2, but instead for Diamond and Pearl. I had to make a change because, similarly to the Ultra games, I couldn't really come up with much difference to the Univen sequels from their original best team. There's no Alakazam, no Gengar, and even the legendaries are a little shuffled up now. So unfortunately, for now, I have to just skip over those games as well. Thankfully, however, the best team for Diamond and Pearl with no restrictions is different enough from the Platinum one that it warrants discussing. I do apologize to you Unova fans. I'll try to make it up to you sometime. Now, I guess with that explanation out of the way, let's just leap into this no restrictions Diamond and Pearl team. Well, we've got to get started with the team in the only way we know how, and that is with the best starter of the group in Sinnoh, the flame Pokemon Infernape. Yeah, at this point, we all know that it is definitely the best of the group in modern day Pokemon. But even back then, it was still better than the others. Infernape has base 104 in attack and special attack, and a very nice base 108 speed. Infernape is strong and fast, and that's really what makes it so great. Again, it gets a lot better in future generations thanks to a few new moves and the hidden ability Iron Fist. But in Diamond and Pearl, it works as a great successor to Generation 3's Blaziken as a fire fighting type. You'll start off with the Chimchar as your starter, and at level 14, you'll end up with the Monferno. And then finally, at level 36, you're gonna have yourself that Infernape. Now, let's take a look at how useful it'll be when you're going through the Sinnoh region. The moves I've got set up for Infernape to roll with are Close Combat, Flare Blitz, Shadow Claw, and Stone Edge. I've gotta say, Flare Blitz and Close Combat are some incredibly awesome physical moves introduced for the fire and fighting types in Generation 4, and it's lucky for Infernape to be able to take advantage of both of those moves. We start with Close Combat, which it will learn at level 41. And in the meantime, you've got a good priority move like Mach Punch to serve as the fighting type move for this fella. Next, we've got Flare Blitz, which is learned at level 57, and it is actually the final level up move that Infernape gets. You can use a myriad of other fire type moves while waiting for level 57 to show up, so take your pick and roll with it. Next is Shadow Claw, otherwise known as TM65, and it's given to you as a reward for winning your 5th gym badge in a battle with Fantina. It's great for the psychic types out there, so I thought it'd be a good one to include. The final move is Stone Edge, and that TM is found within Victory Road, and it's good coverage for any flying types you encounter during your Elite Four challenge. So with these moves, Infernape will be able to do well against Gardenia's entire team, Maylene's Lucario, Byron's entire team, Candace's entire team, Volkner's Ambipom, Cyrus's Weavile, Barry's entire team but watch out for Empoleon, Aaron's entire team except Drapion, Bertha's Sudowoodo and Golem but watch it with the latter, all of Flint's Pokemon except his Infernape, Lucian's entire team except Girafarig, and finally Cynthia's Roserade and Lucario. As you can see, Infernape is fantastic against the Elite Four and during a number of gym battles as well. The fact that you could sweep Barry's team with it is pretty awesome too, and it honestly further proves that Infernape is a dominant force. So let's move on to another fantastic Pokemon that came from Sinnoh, the one that I feel most people always default to, Staraptor. Staraptor is just super good, and I had to include it on this team thanks to how early you get it and how helpful it'll be during your challenge. You can get your hands on Starly right away when you get Pokeballs, and at level 14, you'll have a Staravia, and finally at level 34, you've got a Staraptor with 120 base attack and 100 speed. It's a great flying type to have on your side, and will provide major firepower throughout a Let's Play. The moves that Staraptor has are Fly, Brave Bird, Close Combat, and Return. This is an incredibly hard-hitting moveset, and it's a full moveset you can get before you even reach the Elite Four. Fly is an HM, and it's going to help you get around the region while also offering an extra flying type option if you want to turn to it in battle. You get the HM for that in the Galactic Warehouse, and can use it immediately after beating Maylene. The next move is Brave Bird, and that will be learned at level 49, and it is the final move Staraptor learns by level up. It's an incredibly strong flying type move that has some recoil, but is super good. And while you wait to get it, you can always run Aerial Ace and have a good move to serve as backup until then. Close Combat is next, and I tell you guys every time, it is absolutely awesome that Staraptor can even get this move in general. It's one of the big things that really sets it apart from other flying types, as it will tear through rock and ice types and can hit tons of other typings for great damage. It learns it at level 34, so right around when you're evolved, you'll have that great move. Finally, we have got Return, a favorite move of mine, and one that provides strong stab damage on a Pokemon that you'll find yourself using throughout your journey. You get the TM for Return in the Lost Tower on Route 209. So with these moves, Staraptor will be able to do well against Gardenia's entire team, Mayleen's Meditite and Machoke, Byron's Steelix and Bastiodon, Candace's entire team but be careful, Cyrus's Weavile, Barry's entire team except Rapidash and his Staraptor, Aaron's entire team except Drapion, Bertha's Sudowoodo and Golem but be careful, Flint's entire team except for Drifblim and Rapidash, Lucian's Medicham, and Cynthia's Roserade and Lucario. There's a lot of overlap between Infernape and Staraptor's usefulness, but that flying typing will help make up for a few places Infernape doesn't hit for super effective damage. Staraptor is well worth having a spot on this team, and you'll love using it for sure. Big shock here for our next Pokemon, Alakazam continues to make its way onto a best team with no restrictions, as it may as well be guaranteed a spot in every game it's featured in. You guys already know how good it is though, so I don't need to wear you down with that. You can actually get a Kadabra on Route 215, which is right outside of Veilstone City. And with that said, you can immediately evolve it. So yeah, you'll pretty much have an Alakazam right when you get it. So that's honestly pretty freaking cool. So, the moveset on Alakazam is sort of what you'd expect it to be, mostly. We've got Psychic, Focus Blast, Shockwave, and Calm Mind. So, with Psychic, you'll learn that via TM or level up. You can either buy it in the Veilstone Game Corner, or go ahead and wait until level 40 to learn it. Then, there is Focus Blast, which you'll buy in the Veilstone Department Store. Real simple stuff there. Then, we have Shockwave, which I chose for just some sort of different coverage, since I needed a third move on Alakazam, and with Electric not being represented on the team, I thought, why not? You can find that on the same route that you capture Kadabra as a matter of fact. Then we have Calm Mind, learned at level 36, which can make Alakazam all the more strong. So with these moves, Alakazam can do well against Mayleen's entire team, Crasher Wake's Floatzel and Gyarados, Byron's entire team, Candace's entire team except for Frostlass, Cyrus's entire team, Barry's entire team except for Rapidash, Aaron's Yanmega, Heracross, and Vespiquen, and Cynthia's Roserade, Lucario, and Milotic. That's an awful lot of coverage provided by Alakazam, and many strong Pokemon that it can take out thanks to its access to Psychic and Focus Blast. So next up, we've got a Pokemon you can actually get near Route 206, and I'm of course talking about the pseudo-legendary Garchomp. Now, you'll need Strength to get into the hidden area of the Wayward Cave under the Cycling Road, and that's an HM you get access to at the Lost Tower, meaning it is usable after you defeat Byron, and so it'll probably be the last Pokemon you get your hands on. You'll find Gible at about level 15, so you'll have a bit of training to do with it. It'll eventually evolve into Gabite at level 24, and then finally in the Garchomp at level 48. It is most certainly worth working hard and waiting for Garchomp though, because you'll end up with a 130 base attack Pokemon with base 102 speed, which basically outclasses most of this team. It's going to hit hard and fast, and Garchomp is pretty much regarded as the best in Sinnoh. Garchomp's set is Dragon Claw, Earthquake, Crunch, and Fire Fang. This set is a classic one for Garchomp, with the exception of Fire Fang, as I elected to go with Stone Edge on Infernape instead. Dragon Claw is a fantastic move for Garchomp, one I'd rather have instead of Dragon Rush and its lackluster accuracy. It's learned at level 33 as Gabite and will be around for your playthrough. The next move is Earthquake, and unfortunately, it must be learned by TM, since Diamond and Pearl Garchomp can't learn it by leveling up. The TM is actually found in Wayward Cave, which is where you got Gible in the first place, so you just gotta look around in there and you'll eventually get your hands on it. The next move is Crunch, which is learned at level 48, and that's obviously going to be some great coverage in the late game. Finally, there is Fire Fang, and that's going to need to get the Heart Scale treatment. The move relearner can be found in Pastoria. Fire Fang will serve as proper coverage for that ice weakness, which is really going to be helpful against Garchomp's worst enemy. So with these moves, Garchomp will be able to do well against Volcana's Raichu and Luxray, Cyrus's Weavile, but again, use your head, Barry's Heracross, Roserade, Rapidash, and Empoleon, Aaron's entire team, Bertha's Golem and Sudowoodo, Flint's entire team except Lopunny, Lucian's entire team except Medicham, and Cynthia's Roserade, Lucario, and Garchomp. This big boy is a monster, and will help you tear through every trainer you face once you get it fully evolved. And its spot on this team goes unquestioned, and was guaranteed as Infernape's. Alright, let's get back to some no restrictions shenanigans after that brief Garchomp break. So, on the Platinum team, I had went with Dusknoir, as the Reaper Cloth was available prior to the post-game, but this time around, it is not. So of course, I gotta lean back on the other all-reliable Gengar. It was honestly good enough to be on the Platinum team, but I wanted the coverage Dusknoir provided. It's all good though, as while Gengar doesn't have that sort of coverage, it does have more power and speed. You can find Ghastly in the old Chateau after you get cut, so that's pretty early on. You already know what you gotta go through to get this powerful ghost type, so let's just move on to the moveset. The move pool Gengar has got is Hypnosis, Shadow Ball, Dream Eater, and Sludge Bomb. Hypnosis will be relearned via the move relearner with the usage of a heart scale. Then there is Shadow Ball, which is learned at level 33, and Dream Eater is learned after that at level 39. Finally, Sludge Bomb is a TM you'll find in the Galactic Warehouse. Might as well enjoy a little extra stab, right? Gengar is going to use these moves to do well against Fantina's entire team, Candace's entire team except for Sneasel, Cyrus's Crobat, Barry's Roserade and Heracross, Aaron's Heracross and Dustox, Flint's Infernape and Drifblim, Lucian's Mr. Mime, Medicham and Alakazam, and finally, Cynthia's Roserade. So, is it a lot of Pokemon that it does super effective damage against? No, not really. However, that Hypnosis Dream Eater combo can put a dent in a lot of Pokemon during a playthrough, and it plays a big part in Gengar's usefulness in any playthrough. Let's wrap up the team with our Surfer. Shockingly enough, it took me a while to get to this point. I wanted a mixed attacker in this spot to sort of even things out, a role which Gyarados didn't really fill this time. So I went with Gastrodon. I know we already had a ground type with Garchomp, but we all know that Water Ground is a great typing defensively, and Gastrodon definitely can hit pretty decently in a playthrough. It's definitely something different, but that typing sold me on bringing it on this time around with the construction of the rest of the team the way it is. You can find Shellos slugging around as early as Route 205, so just in time for it to be useless against Gardenia. Don't worry though, you'll merely have to wait till level 30 where you'll end up with the Gastrodon of your dreams. Now with that said, let's peep that move pool. So this Gastrodon's moveset is very, very simple. We've got Surf, Waterfall, Ice Beam, and Dig. Pretty easy, right? Surf is gotten in Celestic Town, Waterfall is given to you by Jasmine in Sunnyshore, Ice Beam can be obtained from the Veilstone Game Corner, and Dig is a TM found in the Ruined Maniac's Cave. I'd like to have given Earthquake to Gastrodon, but it's much better on Garchomp. If only Earth Power was available in these games for Gastrodon. Oh well. Alright, with these moves, Gastrodon can do well against Byron's Steelix and Bastiodon, Volkner's Luxray and Raichu, Cyrus's Honchkrow and Crobat, Barry's Staraptor, Rapidash, Roserade and Empoleon, Aaron's Drapion, Vespiquen and Beautifly, Bertha's Sudowoodo, Hippowdon and Golem, Flint's entire team except for Lopunny, and finally Cynthia's Garchomp, Lucario, and Roserade. It's interesting to really see just how little water actually does in the early part of the games in Diamond and Pearl. That said, Gastrodon is still happily accepted onto this team and brings some nice coverage with that Ice-type move. So that's going to do it for another No Restrictions best team. Diamond and Pearl continues to be pretty easy to put a best team together for. I wonder if it'll be any different with the remakes. I suppose we will see soon enough. I don't know what the next No Restrictions team will be just yet, but why don't you guys let me know what you'd like to see me do in the comments below. I'll hear you guys out on it. Hey, welcome to my new outro. A big thank you to everyone for watching the video. I want to give a huge thanks to my phenomenal team, and for the amazing art done each week by Danny the Demon. I couldn't do all this without them. If y'all enjoyed the video and want to see more content like this, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Be sure to leave a comment too. It really helps us out. I have a brand new TikTok for Mystic Umbreon, and I've got a goal to get 10k followers over there. If we can hit that goal, I'm going to pick a random video suggested to me by you guys and do it. So go over there and leave a follow. Also over on MysticSage, we've still got 2 videos going up every weekend. We've got content from My Hero, to Demon Slayer, to Dragon Ball, so come and check it out. And also check out MysticSage on TikTok. Finally, I've got an Amazon store where I sell tons of cool stuff. I think I'm gonna wrap this up though. I'm Mystic Umbreon, and I'll see you next time with some more amazing Pokemon content.